Imagine the following scene. A late afternoon in Los Angeles, the sky painted gold, the distant hum of traffic blending with the anticipation of another night of baseball at Dodger Stadium. Outside, fans wear jerseys with the names bets Ohtani and Freeman, snap selfies with the Jackie Robinson statue, and chat enthusiastically about the team. But behind the scenes, the conversation is different. The doubt in the air is quieter, almost uncomfortable. Does the Dodgers' multi-million-dollar roster still need adjustments? And if the answer is yes, why does the most feared franchise in MLB still show signs of vulnerability? Because as impressive as this team looks on paper, as deep as the lineup may be, and as dominant as last year's World Series run was, 2025 has brought a few unexpected headaches, especially in a position that should have been locked in since spring training, the outfield. And the name that, so far, hasn't justified his presence in Los Angeles is Michael Conforto. Conforto arrived with fanfare, a one-year, $17 million contract, a solid track record as a left-handed bat, postseason experience, and a clear expectation that he'd be one of the defensive pillars of this new Dodgers iteration. But the numbers don't lie. With an OPS of just .654 and a minus -0.3 WAR in 93 games, Conforto hasn't just been underwhelming. He's been, at times, dead weight in the lineup, and in a team that treats every season as championship or bust. That's unacceptable. The situation is even more uncomfortable because the Dodgers don't have time to wait. The rotation has been reinforced with Blake Snell. The infield is in good hands. Mookie Betts continues to be an elite Swiss Army knife. But the outfield urgently needs stability. Andy Pages, a promising and increasingly confident young player, has earned his spot. Teoscar Hernandez, with timely home runs and constant energy, too. The third name is missing. And right now, that name simply can't be Conforto. That's why, just days before the trade deadline, USA Today still playing at a high level fits the moment perfectly. Represents a short-term. The Dodgers are expected to pursue a deal with the Baltimore Orioles for one of the two most attractive outfielders on the market, Cedric Mullins or Ramón Laureano. Jesse Yomtov, who wrote the piece, was clear. Even as reigning champions, the Dodgers need help in the outfield, and with the Orioles essentially out of contention for 2025, they could be ideal trade partners. It's a combination that makes perfect sense on the surface. Baltimore has young talent galore for 2026 and beyond, while Mullins and Laureano are already in their career peaks, and based on their current performance, might even be underutilized on a team that won't win much this year. Mullins, with a .732 OPS and 15 home runs, is a constant threat on the bases, and has become known for stealing home runs, something that makes him a highlight reel regular and extremely useful in a playoff series. Laureano, with a .887 OPS and 2.9 WAR, goes even further. He's a complete player with defensive versatility, power at the plate, and a contract option for next season. To understand the value of these two, it's important to remember that while Mullins is a typical rental, in other words, brought in to contribute and then leave, Laureano could be part of a longer-term plan. He might be the bridge between this championship team and what's coming next. Should the Dodgers decide to make major moves in the offseason, that adds another layer to discussion. This isn't just about fixing 2025. It's about building continuity in the midst of success. But none of these decisions are easy. Conforto is not a small name. He's not a rookie you can discard without making noise. He's a veteran who has shined in the postseason, who has played key roles in previous campaigns, and who arrived in LA with the full support of management. There's also the human factor. Conforto is, by internal accounts, a beloved figure in the locker room. Quiet, hard-working, loyal. This isn't about attitude, ego, or effort. What's missing is performance. And in baseball, that's what matters most. From Baltimore's side, there are other motivations. The franchise knows it's not contending for a title in 2025 and has every interest in clearing space for young talent coming up from the farm system. Trading Mullins or Laureano for a package of prospects and financial relief will be more than strategic. It will be part of an inevitable rebuild. And among MLB's 30 franchises, few have more valuable assets to offer than the Dodgers. They boast one of the league's top farm systems, even with their current star-studded roster, and can include players ready to make the jump or promising talents with bright futures. Now, let's look at the technical fit. Mullins would almost instantly become the starting center fielder. That allows Andy Pages to shift to one of the corners and keeps Teoscar Hernandez in the opposite corner. Mookie Betts then stays in the infield, where, by the way, he's been nothing short of extraordinary. Mullins brings speed, solid defense, base path aggression, and a chaos factor that can flip a game. Laureano, meanwhile, offers something even rarer: balance between offense and defense, experience in high-pressure games, and a strong locker room presence. He can play any outfield position, fill in as a DH occasionally, and be that type of dependable player for October. The kind you trust when everything's on the line. What's interesting is that Laureano feels like what J.D. Martinez was for the Dodgers in 2023, a timely reinforcement who arrived under the radar and became essential. Mullins, on the other hand, has a profile of a Tree Turner-type outfielder, immediate, explosive impact, even without long-term guarantees. What all of this shows is that even champions, even giants, even teams that seem invincible have their cracks. And when they appear, no matter how small, the great organizations know how to act. The Dodgers know this. They haven't hesitated to make bold trades in the past. They haven't hesitated to spend when necessary. And now, with Conforto running out of rope, time is not on their side. They need to decide, fast, because the worst-case scenario for Los Angeles isn't losing a game or two. It's sticking with Conforto, watching the struggles continue, making no trade. And when October arrives, paying the price for that hesitation. And let's face it, no Dodgers fan wants to see their team knocked out, because an outfield gap turned into a playoff black hole. Sure, there's always a chance Conforto turns around. Baseball is funny like that. A string of good games can flip the narrative. But betting on that now is like believing a $17 000 jacket will stop stinking if you just leave it in the sun. Unlikely. Possible? Yes, but doubtful. That's why Yom Tov's prediction carries so much weight. It didn't come out of nowhere. It's connected to behind-the-scenes chatter among execs, scouts, and insiders. And more importantly, it's in line with how the Dodgers operate. They aim for the title. Always. If that means parting with a piece that didn't fit, so be it. They've done it before. They'll do it again. All that remains now is the anticipation. The deadline is approaching. Talks are heating up, and fans are already split. Some want Laureano for his staying power and offensive punch. Others prefer Mullins for his speed, immediate impact, and electric style. There are even those still backing Conforto, though their voices are growing quieter by the day. What about you? If you had to choose right now, based on everything we've seen so far, who wears the blue and white better? Laureano? Mullins? Or are you one of those who still believes Conforto deserves more time? The next few days will be decisive. The Dodgers front office phones won't stop ringing. And rest assured, someone from Baltimore will answer. The question is, when the call goes through, who will be the name boarding a flight to LA? If you enjoyed this analysis, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell, because the MLB trade deadline is just getting started, and big things are still on the horizon. And yes, we'll be covering every step the Dodgers take as they push toward October. You know how we do it, with humor, with context, and without wasting your time. After all, you never know when the next big name is going to leap from a sinking team straight into a title race. See you in the next video. And until then, the question remains, will the jacket keep stinking, or will the Dodgers switch model before it's too late?